Welcome to the fourth video in the Design Web Identity Pagelines video series for creating a responsive WordPress website. As you can see, we've sort of come up with a very basic sort of website here with a bit of customization. It is responsive, and what we want to do next is maybe play around with some of the text and just a few other bits and pieces of the website. So what we're going to do, we're going to head on back into the panel, into the Pagelines panel, which is Pagelines, the site options. We're going to go to typography. Now let's say we want a completely different font up here for the headers. We've got a pretty decent selection here that Pagelines has installed, including a few web-safe fonts. We'll try and find something a little bit different. You can see we've got Courier there, crimson text. It might take a minute just to load that font, depending on how fast your internet connection is. So let's say we wanted something like that, which is not going to look very good considering the website layout I currently have, but just for the sake of this video, we'll use that anyway. And maybe we'll choose Garamond as the site text. And once again, I'll change Garamond. Inputs and text areas, we might want to change that maybe to Jill Sands, or a bit of mucking around. So that's just a really basic. We can save those options. This gives you just a good amount of control for changing the text on your website. So this is just basic font choices. As you can see, this is not exactly the best choice for this type of website, but you can see just how easily you can choose a different font. So let's just say we want to use a Garamond, or maybe even Droid Sans we'll stick with for the headers. So what I've got here, I've chosen Droid Sans, but let's say I want the spacing or things to change. I don't want the heading to be bold, I just want it to be normal. Maybe I want it to be italics. But maybe I want to get the letters a little bit closer together. So we've got letter spacing there, the font stylings. Also got a few options like small caps, that sort of thing, which I won't use. Uppercase, capital, lowercase. You've got a lot of options there that'll just make things nice and cruisy. So just save those options. And just refresh that. As you can see, it doesn't look very good, but we've sort of managed to change things around a little bit, go the way we want. So just before we go ahead, I'll change that to something a little bit more attractive. I think I'll put that back onto bold, on normal. Save that. So what we're going to do from here is we're pretty happy with the text at this point. There's not a lot of mucking around we're going to go into, simply because there's not a lot in Pagelines. It's mainly a choice of fonts, a few different sort of lettering spacing, that sort of thing. If there's more you want to know about typography, you might want to do a bit of research. But what we're going to look at next is a few other bits and pieces of the website. So we're just going to go down to the header and footer. First of all, I'll just refresh this, make sure we're happy with the way things are. Okay, so we've got things looking more or less the way we want. So let's say we want to add a few icons along here. So you've got an RSS feed icon there, but you've actually got a few options as to what different types of icons you can have up there, and they automatically fill out, that sort of thing. So we're going to look into getting that set up. So we'll just go back to the admin panel, and then under header and footer, we'll drop down. As you can see, we've got a few different areas here. We can type in the addresses for our profile. So just for the sake of this video, I'll just type in the basic, just type in the main addresses of these places. So Facebook, I don't want to go Twitter, but I do want to go LinkedIn. And of course we'll throw in a YouTube channel, considering this is a YouTube video. Now obviously you don't want to put just the addresses in here. You'd want to have the actual address of your channel page, whatever it is you're filling out. So this is pretty handy, and the second we fill those out and save that, refresh the page, you'll find that they automatically appear at the top of the page. There we are. So now we've got few buttons up here, just social buttons, so that way you don't have to worry about finding any sort of widgets or anything to set that up. If, however, you don't want those buttons up there, you can always simply turn these off. And you can turn that off. We don't want to display the RSS icon. Click Save. And refresh. As you can see, no social icons. So there's really not much more I can really go into without sort of getting really into specifics, but you can see Pagelines is a pretty powerful program. It does enable you to change the graphical layout, text stylings, just the way things are arranged on the page. The drag and drop section is something you can really have an experiment around with if you want to change things around. Page templates, you can start adding in additional sidebars and things like that. You add those sidebars in anywhere on the page, and then you can use it just like a widget. So just for the sake of demonstration, I will show you just how easy it is. We'll pop in the universal sidebar under the branding there, under appearance, widgets. You see the universal sidebar there. Draw in some text. Test. This, of course, is only a real basic sort of example of what you can do. But you can really customize it, put just about anything together in this software, and then any further CSS will take you quite easily. So as you can see, it's very customizable, very powerful piece of software, especially if you're not used to coding. So another one of the specifics you can play around with in this is actually the blog page setup itself. As you can see here, the first two are sort of large, and then we've got a few sort of magazine style sort of layout blog posts down the bottom there. So if I go down to, first of all, I'll go to the drag and drop. I'm just going to remove that universal sidebar. Just going to go back into site options. Under blog and posts, you'll see you've got a few different options with your blog posts. You can turn on the magazine style layout mode or the blog layout mode. So I'm going to choose the blog layout mode just to demonstrate the difference. Just save that. Refresh the page. As you can see, you can scroll down and they're all the same size. So we do have a few options with the way this is arranged also. We can simply go down. As you can see, you've got a few different options as to where the thumbnail can be next to the title, next to the excerpt, or to the right of the excerpt. But I'll just show you just how easily you can really make things look drastically different by choosing the thumbnail up the top. And we'll just save those options. Before I go, I will change it back to the magazine style layout and just save that as well. We'll just refresh this page once again. As you can see, we now have thumbnails just above each post, which is very bold and dramatic, but it is something that can be used quite effectively, while these ones here still have the icon to the left. So let's say we think these are a little bit too big, but we would like to have the thumbnail above the smaller posts. That can be done. Since we're on the magazine style layout, we can change that back to normal, but down lower we have the smaller post section here. We can add that up. Put the thumb at the top, save that. Get back on over and refresh. As you can see, these are back to normal, but these ones have the thumbnails at the top. So there's a lot you can do with this website software. So if you do want to have a bit of a look at it, please don't forget to read our full blog post on this video and the setup of Pagelines Framework and responsive websites. Just head on to www.designwebidentity.com and have a look. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, and any other links in the description of this video will be able to help you with any information or questions you might have. So if you do have a play around with it, let us know how you go, and good luck. Thank you for watching.